Hello and welcome to Sports Nerd episode 8, the Ocho. It's just Max and Carve today. Phil couldn't make it. He's got pressing concerns elsewhere or something.
His butt hurts.
Yeah. It's Jersey Thursday, I guess, because we actually got more than one person in a jersey for once. All right, Mike, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Just like any other Cleveland fan, this is my Christmas, and I am super excited for tonight. I'm kind of also dreading it as well. I've kind of put myself in a bad mood like all day up until now, just so like the karma gets reversed and so it's like I had a bad day today, but at least I came out on top on the draft. So we'll see how that works out. But anything's possible on draft day. So we'll see what happens.
Only a Browns fan would come up with this sort of masochistic attempt at a good draft. It's like, if I stab myself with needles, maybe the Browns will have a good draft.
If I get in a car accident this morning, that means the Browns hit it big in the draft tonight.
Yes, absolutely. Well, good luck with that, sir. Don't go too crazy because we don't want you to miss any podcasts. So.
Absolutely not. No, I wouldn't miss it for the world. So you just want to start? We'll start talking draft, and then maybe we'll throw in the fight afterwards, or
let's do it up.
All right, we'll do it up. Well, so it's not just because I'm a Browns homer, but it's also that the Browns are only one of two other teams that have 2 picks tonight in the first round of the 2015 NFL football draft. So there's obviously been speculation all day with the Browns involving with the second pick with the Titans, possibly going up and grabbing Mariota. You hear things like that they want this year's 2 first rounders, and then next year's third rounder, and then a pot of gold after that, and the Titans basically, what is being reported is that they want just a king's ransom for that number 2 spot, which I don't think the Browns are dumb enough, but then again, I have been wrong, and it is the Browns, to go up there and do it. So you have that. Then you also have the other rumor that's going around that the Browns might trade one of their first-round picks to the Eagles in exchange for Sam Bradford. And then the Eagles would then use that pick along with their other first-round pick to trade up to the Titans to get Marcus Mariota. So it's interesting to see that there's just all these rumors about Mariota. To me, honestly, yeah, he seems like a great guy, but we've seen this before. If character was counted for something in the NFL, then Tim Tebow would be a starting quarterback right now, and he'd be winning MVP every year. He's not. He's third string. Actually, he's fourth string in Philly right now. He's just a practice guy. No offense to Tim Tebow, but it's just all I hear though about Marcus Mariota is that he's just such a great character guy. I want to hear more about his football knowledge and whether or not he can translate to the next level. Tim Tebow also he was smart as hell, and he can learn any offense because he'll put in the time and the work. Well, obviously we've seen how that's panned out, and it hasn't done very well. So I just see another Tebow in the making. Tebow, it's like a Tebow-esque, but just not with the Jesus. So I just don't see what's going on there. So there's just all these rumors, and then you also have the possibility a lot of people are saying that the Browns might also possibly they might trade down, like they have 12 and 19, so they might they might fill a need at 12, and then if nobody's there, they might trade down to get another pick either this year or next year because, and this is something that no one's really talked about, is that next year's draft is going to have at least four surefire first-round quarterbacks. You have Connor Cook from Michigan State. who has just been lighting it up. You also have Cody Kessler from USC, which nobody seems to talk about. Cody Kessler had a really good year last year. And then you also have our Cardale Jones from The Ohio State University.
Love.
And then you also have he's another Big Ten quarterback. I forget his name. It's drawing a blank right now just because I've had too many cocktails. But there's 4 guys. Hackenberg from Penn State. So everyone's talking two for sure starters at 12 and 19. I could plug in immediately, whether it's wide receiver, O-line, D-line, whatever, a kicker for God's sakes. You get two starters, and you're going to give that up for Marcus Mariota, who's going to be a project quarterback. I mean, the guy's going to need time to translate into the NFL because of the spread read option that he ran at Oregon. So I just don't see it happening. And, and why mortgage the future? Why give up your first-round pick next year when even if Marcus Mariota tanks and you start him day one and he tanks, you don't have a first-round pick next year and you got all these quarterbacks that would be available. So there's just a lot of gears turning right now in Cleveland, and it'll be really interesting to see what goes on. And it'll be really exciting. And again, I know I'm a homer. I know I'm a big Browns fan, but at the same time, though, I mean, the draft is all about drama, and right now the Browns are ranking number 1 in that category. For once, they're number 1. So, other than losing. So, but your Denver Broncos, though, you're rocking that badass Peyton Manning jersey right now. I already gave you praise for it earlier, but what do you think?
I'm channeling the good vibes. I'm channeling the pre-playoff awesomeness of Peyton Manning. I'm channeling all the good things. So hopefully we have a good draft this year.
You better, because I think this might be the last year for this ride. I mean, unless Brock Osweiler steps right in and just, does it. But so for your Denver Broncos, they're picking 28th. Who do you think? What makes sense for the Denver Broncos? Either a specific player or a position. What do you think is going to happen?
I'm not sure about a specific player. We're so late in the first round. I don't feel like there's going to be a lot of these like high impact guys left. But I feel like we need to work on the offensive line, obviously, to keep the better the offensive line is, the better Peyton's going to be. If you give him a little bit of time. It's all the man needs to work magic. So he can't take too many hits. It's not going to be good if Peyton touches the grass or on he doesn't have too much left in the tank. But offensive line I say is important, and then I'd like to see the Broncos pick up a quarterback. Someone who will be willing to do some work underneath the guy with a lot of talent, and then unleash him in the next couple of years, a la Aaron Rodgers style.
Oh, absolutely. And, you guys lost, and the good thing about this – huh?
Nah, fuck it. No, we don't do that.
No. Right.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Quarterback. Yeah. I mean, after Mariota and Winston, it's really there's really nobody else until, they're talking. The good thing about this draft is that it's pretty loaded as far as D linemen, O linemen, and pass rushers, and there are a lot of good receivers, but compared to last year's receivers, I don't think they're as good. But and you can never have too many good linemen, so I think the odds are in your favor, my friend, to see somebody keep Peyton upright. And one thing going for him is that he's never been the fastest guy, obviously, but he has such a quick release, and he's really good at getting rid of the ball, or at least taking that 1 or 2 steps up in the pocket to avoid that sack. He's just got that great peripheral vision, and I think you guys will be in good shape. I mean, obviously, you're still going to have to compete with so it'll be really interesting to see. But so now we got we got our homers out of our system. We have been cleansed. So we can talk about now some surprises in the draft tonight. there's definitely a lot of rumors going on besides, my beloved Browns, especially going on with the quarterback from San Diego Chargers. You also have Adrian Peterson, the running back from a couple of weeks. You have seen Todd Gurley and Melvin Gordon. They're both running backs. Melvin Gordon, obviously the monster from Wisconsin, and then Todd Gurley. It's kind of like the rebirth of the running back in the first round. So people are talking about, or Amari Cooper, Kevin White, whoever's left out of those big three. But there is a possibility that they could take a running back. San Diego is basically the top favorite to move to LA next year, and Philip Rivers doesn't want to do that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
Yeah, if I'll be really surprised. The Cowboys, look out! It's going to be a rough ride for anyone in their way, and yeah, like I don't want to see that happen. I feel like you put Adrian Peterson on the Cowboys, if they can produce everything else the same.
We haven't seen a back like Adrian Peterson since, LaDainian Tomlinson, and before that Emmitt Smith. Just a guy that can take over a game. And not only that, Adrian Peterson's from Texas. He loves Texas. And he's been on the record saying he would love to go to the Cowboys. But to be honest with you, I think you could plug anybody in there at running back, and with that offensive line, you're going to do well. The Cowboys. Yeah, he was with the Raiders.
Yeah. No, I'm okay. Yeah, they can put any jerk in there, and as long as he holds on to the ball, I suppose he'll do relatively well. But if you want to see it happen, just to see what happens. But on the other hand, I'm very afraid of that.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's holding Adrian Peterson to I want to say almost $13 million in his contract, and that's a lot as far as running backs go, and as far as his age goes, because running backs right now they're not a dying breed, but it's more or less it's that you only get so much out of a running back for a couple of years, and so the Cowboys can point to running backs in this league don't last too long, but then Adrian Peterson's agent's going to be like, oh, well, fucking Peterson.
But it's that guy is a machine. Like, who gets hurt and then comes back 10 times better? And I mean, I've seen this guy run, and it doesn't even look like he breathes. He'll run the entire length of the football field in one breath.
Yeah, I mean, he is the poster child for ACL surgery right now. I mean, seriously, if you tore your ACL, you were done. It was a career-ending injury. But now it's Adrian Peterson tore his ACL, and then the next year, and he is definitely a talent. The child beating aside, it's of a player, and he doesn't want to play in Minnesota, but Minnesota is a well-deserved contract though, because he is, like we said, he's a hell of a player.
Do you think that Adrian Peterson would be willing to let?
And the other guy I talked about was Philip Rivers, and Philip Rivers he's a Southern boy. He's from Alabama. Eagles, or they don't get that deal from the Jets or whoever, and they just take Marcus Mariota, and then they deal Marcus Mariota to the Chargers in exchange for Philip Rivers, and probably picks and players or who. So it's going to be a really fun draft tonight, I think. Like we've been saying, there's teams, and then there's also individual players, and and well-established players too. It's not like they're just trading scrub for scrub or type of deal. It's impactful players that are either. I know we'll probably have to you'll probably be checking your phone for updates after you get out of Ultron tonight. But
I cannot wait to see Age of Ultron. I'm going to miss a whole bunch of the draft, but I'll definitely be looking it up. I'm not going to be in the theater looking it up. That'd be pretty cool, right? I'm that asshole with his phone on.
Yes, it's Avengers.
Whoa! They just dropped Adrian Peterson. Are you serious?
Yeah. Hulkbuster versus Marcus Mariota. Who wins?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Hulkbuster because I don't care for Mariota. So besides,
let's move on.
All right, we're moving on. So, besides the draft and the Kentucky Derby, which I don't really care about, I know you really don't care about, is fancy hats and get drunk. But besides all that, there's also going to be what I haven't even looked at the horse names, to be honest with you. It's that's how much it means to me. I'm more worried about what kind of Kentucky bourbon I would probably drink as opposed to what the horse is, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, just like they always fucking name their horses the most ridiculous shit. And I just like whatever happens, just like Rex or Charlie, you know, or
yeah, like Red Rocket, you know, or Spanky the Monkey.
Yeah, no, that's a definite horse name right there.
Oh yeah, my ex-wife's boyfriend, you know, like, and it's my ex-wife's boyfriend coming in on the final lap. But yeah, I mean, as much as I know a lot of people take horse racing seriously. We're from Ohio. We don't take it seriously. But besides the draft and the horse race this weekend, there's gonna be a little bit of fight. There's gonna be a fight, and in my opinion, it's gonna be the last great fight for a long time. You got Floyd Money Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, and in all honest opinion, I think Floyd Mayweather is going to win. But I think for the sake of the sport, for the sake of boxing's future, Floyd Mayweather needs to lose, or it needs to be so close that it goes to the judges' table, so it legitimizes a rematch. Because if Floyd Mayweather goes out there, kills Pacquiao, and then it's like, oh, we're going to have a rematch, don't look for a lot of people to buy that on pay-per-view. I just don't see it. You know, boxing is kind of going in the way of the dinosaurs, you know. And then people will say, well, boxing makes all this money, you know, you got so-and-so making hundreds of millions of dollars. It's like, yeah, okay, so the promoters are making millions of dollars. You got the casinos making millions of dollars, but who else? I mean, like, who else benefits from boxing today? Nobody, especially not the fans. I mean, look at us. We're decked out in our team's gear. You know, if boxing was as big as it was 30 years ago as it is now, you know, there's a very good possibility that, you know, either you or I could be wearing a Pacquiao t-shirt or a Mayweather t-shirt or you know, or at least it would have, you know, headlined, you know, would have been the headliner for this podcast, but it's not. And I think this is, you know, I mean, who's going to replace these guys?
Yeah, that's the thing. There's going to be a void right here. Like, as soon as Mayweather gets out of here, it's going to be like, who's the next big guy? And I'm kind of excited for that. I'm kind of tired of Floyd Mayweather. And I mean, Pacquiao, I think, is done. I don't know that he's got all that much left in his tank. And I feel like I just watched a fight between Pacquiao and De La Hoya, and I feel like the tides are turned now, and like Pacquiao's just gonna take a beating, and it's not gonna be good. But I'm gonna go watch a fight, and hopefully it's good. But I have terrible fight luck. Like nobody ever gets knocked out when I watch a boxing match. Like it always goes to the card, and they're like hugging each other the whole time, and then the fight's over, and people are like, "This guy won. Sure, why not?"
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you know, and that's like middleweight boxing for you too, you know, and that's why, you know, I mean, God, I mean, like from the beginning of the 1900s until the fucking 70s, it was all about the heavyweights, you know, because the heavyweights were throwing those haymakers. They were throwing, and you know, Evander Holyfield, and then you kind of had Lennox Lewis, but then who was it? It was De La Hoya, you know, Mayweather, Pacquiao, Sugar Shane Mosley. You know, all these, you know, these middleweights, and it's just they're all in the same shape, and they're just trading blows, but there's just nothing comes of it, and then it always goes to the scores table, and then it's always like, oh, we're gonna have a rematch, and then it's like, it just pisses me off because you know we grew up with Mike Tyson. You know, it was like, you know, if somebody, you know, at school asks you, you know, who was your favorite fighter, obviously it's Mike Tyson. And then then we got a little bit older, and then he started raping chicks, beating chicks, and then biting people's ears off, and all that stuff. But then it was like heavyweights out the window. I just I think boxing it needs to get back to what it used to be. I mean, it used to be back in the day that boxing was as big as college football back in the 60s and 70s. I mean, you talk to your parents, I talk to my parents about boxing. Like, you watch boxing matches, good boxing matches for free, or not for free technically, but I mean on on CBS, ABC, NBC, whatever, it'd be just as big as college football. But now it's like, oh, you want to see a decent boxing match? $50, $60, $70. This weekend it's
$100 for this fight.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Meanwhile, you got UFC is like, oh, we're gonna have decent fights, on FX, on Fox, on maybe CBS. Obviously they're not going to be the best fights, the most epic fights, but it's going to be a good fight, as opposed to, and then you got boxing on the other hand, where it's like, oh, you want to see a decent fight? Oh, well, you have to subscribe to HBO, or you have to subscribe to Showtime, and it's like, what? I have to subscribe, I got to pay, $20 a month extra on my cable bill just to watch a decent fight. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, the thing I've noticed MMA over boxing is that if with the undercard and with the the on the regular TV show, all those fights, you'll still get good, interesting fights. Yeah, and it's not the best guys, but they're putting everything into it. But with this boxing, it always seems like it's become more of a show, and less about people mashing each other's faces with fists.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then there's two people that I really blame for it, and it's Don King and it's fucking Floyd Mayweather. Because it's all about the money. It's all about how much money can we make? How much money can we make? And it's like, you should be thinking more. I mean, this is America. I'm not gonna hate on you for making money. But at the same time, though, it's just like think about the sport. Like, think about what you're doing. Like, think about the ramifications. It's like, if you're worried about more or less, the payday as far as, the future of your sport, or, the betterment of your sport, I just don't see it. I mean, I just can't agree with you. And again, that's one thing that UFC has that boxing doesn't, but then again, UFC has a bigger pool of athletes to draw from. I mean, you got guys that do karate, jiu-jitsu, martial arts, and then you got, people we went to high school with that are, were washed up wrestlers, and, and it's, they got a bigger pool to draw from. Boxing, you're just upright with your hands up, and you're just trying to knock the other guy out, whereas MMA, there's a lot more to it. But but then again, I guarantee you most people can name more MMA fighters than they can boxers. And, there's more MMA fighters that are doing big time promotions. They're promoting energy drinks. They're promoting, movies. And, I mean, we've talked about Ronda Rousey. Where's the female Ronda Rousey in boxing? Nowhere to be found.
Now this movie, I mean, come
on. Is it Fast and Furious? She's going to be in the new Entourage movie. I saw the trailer for that, and the whole time Turtle's just trying to get with her. She was also in the Expendables too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that just goes to say that a female MMA fighter is more famous than 99.9% of boxers.
I mean, the only female boxer you really know about is Tatiana Ali.
Yeah,
because she's Muhammad Ali's
daughter. Yeah, exactly. And not only that, it's because I think she co-hosted the American Gladiators reboot with Hulk Hogan, and that was just. But what do I know? I'm just a simple caveman.
Oh man! All right. What else do we have today?
We can talk a little bit of NBA real quick. Just get it out there.
That was it. The coach
Yeah, so Billy Donovan, the coach of Florida, he won back-to-back national titles, I believe, 06, 07, and he hasn't done shit since. Is now the new head coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Which, you know what, great for Billy Donovan, but at the same time, though, he hasn't done anything since those back-to-back titles. I mean, I want to say it was 2 or 3 years ago that he had a senior-laden team that was projected to go far in the bracket, didn't do anything. And I think of if you're going to get this coach of his caliber, fat black mob. I was just reading your thing.
Is that what that says? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll roll with it.
Oh, I'll roll with it. I'm just trying to. But yeah, Billy Donovan. I think they're better off with Scott Brooks. But you know what? I just don't see it. It'd be one thing if Billy Donovan had a couple of Final Four teams after this back-to-back national championship run, or at least one Final Four team. Not the case. So I think Oklahoma City is scrambling right now, and I think they reached, and I think they're going to pay for it, and I think they're going to pay for it with not only making the James Harden mistake, not only making the Scott Brooks fired mistake, but I think they're also going to make the mistake of bringing in Billy Donovan and then seeing Kevin Durantula fly away.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. What they're going to do about the coach, and see how that affects the Durantula. But we're just gonna have to see. They obviously went with the new blood, and like we were saying, there isn't a whole lot of top caliber coaching talent out there as far as NBA basketball. So it's NBA basketball. So there's not a whole lot for them to do, and they just pick this guy, and hopefully he does well. You don't wish ill of him, but also you see where he might be a small fish swimming in a big pond.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a little too overwhelmed, but yeah. Besides that, there's another thing that I take it very personal, being a Cleveland homer that I am. Fuck you, Kelly Olynyk. Seriously. Don't give me this bullshit that it was not intentional that I ripped Kevin Love's shoulder out of his socket. He had to have surgery today. He's going to be out for at least a month. Thank God the NBA playoffs last half a year, so we might get him back for the finals. But come on! Come on! He is a hockey goon. Put him on the Boston Bruins. Seriously, because that's all he is. The long-haired fuck. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm ranting right now. I'm ranting, and that's okay. But, oh my God.
It's going to be
my dog over here right now, and she's looking at me like something bad's really going to happen. I'm sorry. I just had to get that off my chest. Kelly Olynyk, you're a bitch. You should be suspended for at least half the season, but you won't be because you play for Boston, and NBA does this for Boston. So,
has there been any talk of I completely missed this. So has there been any penalty? Any did he get ejected from the game at least? Because I saw.
No. No, he didn't. And then J.R. Smith retaliated with he tried to elbow Jay Crowder in the face, and then Jay Crowder ducked the elbow, but in the process he tore his knee, which I guess is a good thing. Not if you're a Celtics fan, but yeah, I mean, I have no problem. I mean, the Cavs are going to coast through. I mean, they're going to play the Bulls. The Bulls will give them a series. But after that, I mean, the Cavs are going to win the East. I think more or less that's a foregone conclusion. But when they get to the finals, they're probably going to play Golden State, or they're going to have to play the San Antonio Spurs. And if they play Golden State, they're going to have to match shot for shot. And that's a lot of pressure to put on J.R. Smith, because J.R. Smith is probably the best shooter after Kevin Love on the team. And I think it's going to happen if they play them. And then when they play the Spurs, they're going to need Kevin Love to get Kevin Duncan out of the paint when they're on offense. And just so it's, it's basically changed my NBA prediction from, the Cavs winning it all to the Cavs probably losing to whoever they play, just because that's how big of a factor it is. As far as the East goes, the East is a joke when it comes to NBA teams. But when they play the West in the finals, it's going to be a whole different story. And everybody, you're going to hear Charles Barkley, oh, well, it's all because they lost Kevin Love, and Shaq like, well, they didn't have Kevin Love, so it's just you just got to wait till next year. It's just going to hear all these people just saying, if they didn't have Kevin Love. And then everyone's talking about how Kevin Love's going to leave next year. And so it's just Kelly Olynyk just shat all over my Cleveland championship hopes. I was making plans to go to the fucking parade in June, but now I'm not.
You should have known this was coming. I feel like you should have known that this was coming. You're a Cleveland fan, and it always goes badly for you. So, I mean, like, you're crying, and you feel like your hopes and dreams are crushed, but you ain't seen nothing yet, dude. You're a Cleveland fan. It can only get worse from here.
Yeah. I mean, and you're right. I should have known better. I should have known better, like, well, A, it's Cleveland, and B, LeBron, it's ironic also for LeBron, too, and this is what people don't really talk about, is that why did LeBron leave Cleveland? He wanted a better cast. Okay, went to Miami, won a couple titles, went to the finals 4 straight years, but why did he leave Miami? Because because he had to do it all on his own. You had Chris Bosh was kind of, his role was diminished. You had Dwayne Wade, who is basically going to be the bionic man by next year. And so he came back to Cleveland because, he had Kyrie Irving, and then they got Kevin Love. And so LeBron thought that, hey, I got these 2 all-stars here. I'm in the clear. I'm going to be getting my rings. No, might as well just pencil it in. I got my rings. Wrong. Irony comes back, bites him in the ass, and now it's going to be on LeBron, and then he's going to have to basically be the shining example to Kyrie to follow his lead. So we'll see.
Yeah,
see what happens.
Like, we've seen a lot of LeBron choking under the pressure by himself, so he definitely needs that second or third guy to just to kind of help him get to the end there. It's like it always seems to me like LeBron can drag everybody along, like right up to the end. He just needs someone to help get him over it, and so that's going to be rough for Cleveland right now.
He just needs somebody to make a shot, but yeah, that's all I got though. So
we got one comment from Jesper V. Says, "LOL, that Charles Barkley impersonation. Loved your." I was losing it during your Charles Barkley impersonation also. But thank you.
I really appreciate you liking my Barkley impression, because a lot of times people think it's just terrible, and I thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I think we broke Max.
Okay. That's it. That's all we got. Thank you for watching, Jasper. I guess you're our one viewer, so I appreciate you. And go
what
Broncos.
Viewer?
Like Mike is saying there, go Broncos.
The name on the hat is Cleveland.
All right. Well, that's it for Sports Nerds episode The Ocho. We'll catch you guys later.